You know that my topic is to grow Eurovision, to make Eurovision better, bigger, more relevant, to be a powerhouse of music, to make whole Europe and including all those countries at Eurovision to shine, to dominate, to get better than the US, then maybe eventually China and another super big superpowers, let's say it this way. And this will be my podcast about today. Let's talk. Guys, welcome to my channel. You know what to do: subscribing, becoming a member if you want this content in advance, or if you want exclusive content I have just for members exclusively. And also you can help support this channel by giving super likes or buying me a coffee. Definitely by likes, but I'm always glad if you're commenting in the comments below and we can also discuss. Most of the time you're inspiring me, or you gave me a little bit different thought, or telling me like how you think, and also you're giving me a little bit of thoughts how I can maybe change your mind eventually, because I'm thinking about it like many years. I always took Eurovision as a huge opportunity to shine, to open the gates for the artist from a small country, or let's say mid big country, as for example Czechia is, to shine, to grow, to be, for those artists, to have an opportunity to grow bigger than the country borders, to become European, become known in more countries than just one domestic, to maybe become known worldwide. Of course, those are dreams, but I always tend to dream big. Without big dreams, without creating value, without adding more points to what we are doing, it's for me a little bit irrelevant to work on. Even if I was doing Dancing with the Stars, also if I was doing Love Island, I always thought about higher, bigger purpose of it. In Love Island, it's to make those couple together and also match them the way, or they're matching themselves, but match those people the way and give them the opportunity to know each other that well that their couples are long term, which happened in Czechia, which also I achieved in Romania. And I take as an achievement because it was not just to do a business show which you will watch and have fun, but also to give it additional value. Because I think this is how we build. With some small things, we can achieve much more than we maybe are able to imagine. And eventually, and now I will be talking a little business, to achieve much bigger income. Because with such things, such higher value, comes more money in. You can have better sponsorships because your brand really values. It's not like just one thing. It has a much bigger, higher purpose. And I think this is where we Europeans, and all the countries included, struggle. Because we are on the verge of coffee time. Somebody else? Horns? No, good. Because we are on the verge of where we want Eurovision. If it's going to be a Skansenik thing where each country sends their domestic market culture imprint into it, which will fight for who we like the most, or our purpose will be to dominate, to start to do better music than US, which is a cradle of music nowadays, more likely general Swedish way, which doesn't mean we need to generate music. I think we, with our European crazy history, with all the cultures infused, basically we can more unite. And I like this claim, united by music, because in my opinion, after all, it's much better than celebrate diversity. Because if we just only celebrate diversity all the time, which should be basically automatic, we are giving all our differences on the pedestal instead of influence those little things from here and there and there and there into something bigger, higher, with bigger quality. Because what's happening at Eurovision, and you're talking about it all the time, generic, it's a copy paste from something, it's zero new ideas. Come on, I think we are 1 billion people almost. We can do better than this, you know. I think we should think about Eurovision as a platform. It's the biggest entertainment and music platform on earth, and all around no one takes it really seriously. Why is that? Like, what's happening? Where are we doing a mistake? And of course, maybe you as a fans, you will say like, hey, but Eurovision, this is our thing, this is a place to celebrate and so on. But I think we have enough of this. Anyway, it wouldn't ever get off Eurovision because it's that huge. It accumulates so many different countries in Europe and outside, which has so many things in common, but also so many things which are not common for each other. And what I see in politics, what I see anywhere else, we look on each other country like this. They are doing this wrong, they are idiots, we don't like them, they are like this, blah, 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 blah. We are creating barriers. We are creating barriers all the time, and I can see it in Eurovision. We are creating those barriers. We are trying to celebrate diversity and everything so diverse that much that actually it creates much more borders among us than it should do better. And I think we should sit down, or the producers of Eurovision and everybody who is involved in this, and sit down and say like what we really want from the project. Do we want it to grow? Do we want it to be relevant? Do we want it to be prestigious? Do we want it to be a powerhouse of music, the world music, to have this big dream? Like, say, we don't want to be like super hooray that we have Justin Timberlake in our show because he's an American star global, you know? I think our goal should be to produce global stars. Our goal should be that in US they will be happy if a European star will come to their shows, because this should be a pinnacle of all the music industry. There is nothing bigger, nothing connecting so many people, so many markets. We should really say what kind of strategy we want. And you can say, I can tell Sweden is doing it, and Sweden is year and year producing amazing music, but I'm not talking directly about Eurovision because they are a powerhouse of music in the world. And how did they achieve it? Also because of Eurovision, because then it started, it's like a showcase of what they can do, produce. It inspires so many people, and Sweden realized that there is a business where is a lot of money, which actually is infinite, because all the time somebody wants to create. It's not just about earning money, but it's also about creation, feelings, emotion. It's an art. At some point it's more commercial art, at some point it's really like artistically indie. However, it has many layers, the music. But all those things are business, and I think we should also think business-wise about Eurovision. And you will say like, but yes, but it's not commercial TVs, blah, blah, blah. But I think this is also our biggest strength, that it's not really based on it, so we can add much more flavors. We must create something more complex around Eurovision. We must not just celebrate music itself once a year, but I think it's a long project where Eurovision is the top of the pyramid. You know that all the countries in their domestic leagues, as I like to use this terminology from football, are doing the perfect job to qualify to this Champions League, where the most arty, more combinations of ideas are possible in the best possible quality. And I know I'm reading your comments, and you say like, I'm so glad that we Dutch sending something which is really Dutch. Good, but you are sending it to other people to see it, to really understand it, or would it be better to send another amazing Duncan Lawrence who made it worldwide, and maybe the song completely made in Netherlands, or vice versa, completely in Europe, but something which shines and get to the world? Because I'm telling you that more local songs we will send to Eurovision, more local we will become, and less relevant Eurovision will become. And I think that's a shame. Of course, you can say, this is what we want. And I got it, but this is not what I want. And I'm telling you that sooner or later, there will become somebody who will take this template of Eurovision and create it on a bigger scale, more relevant. Because I tell you this, in my opinion, joy, creativity, and business should come together. And also, if we approach it this way, Eurovision will become much bigger, maybe for countries much more approachable, because maybe, just maybe, if we will do it properly, it will be able to pay itself, and the countries could go there in much more mass, in much more competition, and much more competition will create much more quality. And I think this is what we should endorse, because what we see now, countries cannot afford it. Countries cannot afford pyrotechnics. Some countries really cannot afford proper stagings because everything is costly. The costs are rising all the time, but less and less we will reduce those, we will lose quality eventually, because less people will be able to come in because they just will choose different business to go through. We will lose talent, because why, for example, in Czechia, we started to take Eurovision seriously because we wanted to also change our own domestic industry to try to be more relevant, more dreamy, more passionate, more open-minded, more screaming, we want to make our Justin Timberlake in here. I think Europe should have this ambition, and Eurovision is the perfect platform to achieve it if it's approached this way. If we keep it as a skanzen for local production, for local flavor only, I think those can really influence our music. But should we really send our domestic things just like that? They're relevant just for this year, for this memory, maybe for just this nation. But if you grab it that we are all talking about one common goal, maybe we should think much more higher, much more different. Stop being that local at some point. For this are national selections, national domestic leagues. But at some point, like in football, you need to do something better, something best, and then compete with the best of the best. Like in Champions League. Like really create this magic. And what's good on music, that every single country can do it regardless it's how huge it is, because music is about inspiration, talent, and this talent we need to captivate. And this industry also can bring a lot of workspace, a lot of money into those domestic markets, which eventually will rise and bring money to everybody else who is connected. And this is something what we should build. This is the reason why I'm doing this podcast, and this is the reason why I want to influence you. And maybe you will say, like, Jan, you had no structure and whatsoever. I know, but I have this thought, I have those feelings. I'm telling this to you because it matters to me. And one day, Monday, when I come back to Eurovision, and I will eventually come back, I'm sure of it, I will work on this bigger dream. And this is a platform where we can discuss it, where we can clash our comments, our thoughts, and everything. So I would be glad if you will share what you think about this in the comments below. Of course, I would be glad if you help my channel to grow as you're doing. Over 7,000 viewers. My goal is to have 10,000 at the end of this year, which is a hardcore goal, but I think I can achieve it. I believe it. And also, this is the reason why I start memberships and so on, because I want this channel not just to grow, but also become a really serious platform, which I can spend my time on it with you and influence the whole contest, the whole Europe. And you can say, like, Jan, you're again crazy, you're aiming too high, you're thinking too high. But yes, but that's also somehow fulfilling me. It's fulfilling me that I can make something be better, more relevant, and after all, not losing any of those little patterns we have at Eurovision. I just want Eurovision to level up. And nowadays I see it's sliding down again, because there are nobody with such dreams. And I believe that dreams are needed, because without them, without dreams, without visions, without philosophy, without concepts, we cannot achieve anything. And I also believe that if we want to achieve something big, we have the power to do it together. Being united by music. Thank you for watching. Bye.